Hello and welcome to PowWows Nation Live. And tonight we're going to talk one of my favorite subjects, and that is Star Wars. And we're going to talk about as I play with my lightsaber, we're going to talk about some of the ways that Native culture and Star Wars have intersected over the years, whether it's art or movies being dubbed in different languages, and some other cool things that I found. This week. If you are a Star Wars fan, you know that this was May the 4th, the unofficial Star Wars day of the year. So it's a little late to be talking about it, but since we do the show on Thursday night, that's what we're gonna talk about tonight. Star Wars has been a big part of my life, and so yeah, any excuse to talk about it, right? But first, I do want to talk about a few announcements. I guess I'll put this up, but it's a cool lightsaber. I got this one at Galaxy's Edge in Disney World in Orlando. It is a metal hilt. This is the one you get to build and go through the whole ceremony of building your first lightsaber. Really cool experience. Pretty awesome. Okay, let's talk announcements. First of all, thanks so much for being here. My name is Paul Gowder, and this is the show here at PowWows.com where I get to talk to you guys, but also this is our chance to let you know what's going on in all around Indian country, but also here at PowWows.com. There's a lot going on, so much going on. So I like to do the show for that, and for and sometimes we have interviews or different topics. And tonight we're going to talk Star Wars. So, first announcement is that right now we still do have our over on the shop. We still have our stickers on sale. Right now they are 20% off. So you don't have to do anything other than just put them in your cart and you get 20% off. So go check that out. It really does help support us. We appreciate that. And this show is sponsored by our friends over in Fallon, Nevada. They are hosting their annual powwow again. The Moving Forward Together social powwow happening May 30th. May 30th is their Indigenous Arts Market and Youth Voice Night. Their powwow is going to happen May 31st through June 1st. It's a pretty cool event there in Nevada. They got some cool specials this year: a missing and murdered Indigenous woman red dress special, a boot and hat dance special, an orange dress special. Host drum's going to be Black Lodge. Oh, that's going to be some good singing. So if you're in the area, go check it out. Here, let's pull up the full flyer. There it is in Fallon, Nevada. You can go to PowWows.com to learn more about it, or visit our calendar over at PowWows.com. I think it's pretty cool that they're also having a Indigenous Arts Market there the day before the powwow. It's going to be some cool stuff there. So check it out if you're in the area. And thanks for Moving Forward Together for sponsoring tonight's show. And let's flip right over. Also, our giveaway is still happening for the month of May. We are giving away this Pendleton blanket from our friends over at Canoe. You can see if I can get this open. Check it out. So to win, all you have to do is go over to PowWows.com/win, and we have a wheel there. You spin the wheel, and you can win prizes. You can win that. You can instantly win the Pendleton blanket. It can be yours just doing one spin. Sorry, I am having some trouble here. My desk is not right. Looks like I'm falling into the abyss there. So yeah, spin the wheel, and there's over 200 stickers we're giving away, as well as some other stuffs from them. They've got some hats designed by Stephen Paul Judd, some other things as well. Check it out. It is an instant win game. Every Monday, I reduce the odds of the prizes from Gadoo to make them even easier. And I haven't announced this yet, but I'll tell you tonight. Tomorrow, I'm going to be adding some more ways you can win spins on the wheel to make it even more exciting and give you some more ways to win. Sharon, thanks for being here. Appreciate that. And Mary, good evening. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you being here. Just a couple more announcements. If you aren't aware, we have a couple of things we started over the last few months on PowWows.com that I'm really excited about. One is we now have a craft corner, which consists of a dedicated Facebook group that you can go on and talk to other people who are working on beadwork or all kinds of other stuff. Say you want to make something like this, talking Star Wars, course, I had to bring my Star Wars beadwork. Or maybe you're just starting out, maybe you're an expert and you want to talk with other people. That is what the Craft Corner is for. We also have a newsletter for it. So head on over there, PowWows.com/craft corner. It's free to join. Go check that out. The other thing that we've started recently, and that is our book club, our Native American book club over at PowWows.com/book club. Each month we pick out a new book and read it together, discuss it. Excuse me. And as well as, I post in there some specials if I see things on sale. But there's also just people talking about Native literature, Native authors. We've had a couple of interviews in there as well. So go check that out. Both free to join and just another way we can enjoy some Native culture in different ways besides just what we do on the main part of PowWows.com. All right. So let's get into the Star Wars part, right? So I want to start with, you guys see my desk every week, and you probably don't even notice how much Star Wars is a part of what I do here. Let's see, right there is an R2-D2 bank that some friends made for me back in like 1979. It says it on the bottom, I don't remember. It's a ceramic piggy bank. Let's see, right. This is a framed picture that my sister-in-law and brother-in-law gave me. It is signed by Harrison, Mark, and Carrie. It's pretty cool. Over here is my Mandalorian helmet. And there's also various Star Wars around. I've got, I play with my Star Wars little pop things. Up here are my original vintage figures. And maybe you've heard me talk about the origin of PowWows.com. If you've been around long enough, but back in 1996, when I was playing with this whole web thing and just starting to build this, and never intended this to be never thought it would be anything really. I was just building web pages for the fun of it in grad school. And the first one I actually built, oh, wait a minute, I have to answer this. An office tour would be fun. Thank you. Yeah. So I collected the figures, of course, as a kid. And then when I got to college, and I'll show you in a second, when I got to college, I really got into vintage Star Wars toy collection. And it is a complete set of figures. The vintage figures from the 70s and 80s, all loose. I liked them loose because that's how I played with them as a kid. So I do have a complete collection up there. It's all like 93 of them or whatever. Over my personal profile in April, I did post some other little office tours. So if you want to go check that out, Panda, that would be cool. Go check that out. And I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. I even have a little R2 on my mic stand. Got him recently. As well as these are my magic bands from Disney World. My favorite one here has vintage figures on it. And of course, I have to talk about my Roosevelts. I wear Roosevelts all the time. You probably see me in here wearing them on other shows, but this one is my absolute favorite because if anybody knows, if they collected Star Wars vintage figures, this is what they look like in the package. It's hard to do this backwards. Like this one, that's Forloom. No, that's a Tusken Raider. Yeah. Is it? Or is that Forloom? That's a Tusken Raider. So this is what they looked like on the card. They had their little color behind them, and they were on the card as a toy. So this shirt is really cool because this is what the toys looked like. Anyways, so in college, I got really into the Star Wars toy collecting, which was weird because it was at a time when there weren't new Star Wars movies. Disney had not bought them, so we were really in a lull. But I had the toys as a kid, and I cleaned out cleaned out the attic and went up there and found them and brought them back down. And it's like, oh, these are so cool. I gotta have it. Yeah, R2 is definitely my favorite character. The hat. It's a Roosevelt hat as well. But here is my room in college. Now, I'm showing you a lot here. Be easy. That is what it was a 2-bedroom apartment. My roommate moved out at some point, and so I turned the other bedroom into a Star Wars room. My dad built, this was the bed where it was a built-in bed. So I moved the mattress. My dad built these shelves for me so I could put even more figures. So that was some of my Star Wars toy collection in college. Pretty crazy. But this was the first web page I ever built. And I mean, talk about 1990. This is still what it looked like, right? That is 1996 web design right there. It's rough, I know, but that's what we did in 1996, right? And that's how web pages looked. At the same time, I built PowWows.com, and well, here we are now. So, thanks, Panda. So let's talk about some of the ways that powwow or native culture and Star Wars have intersected over the year. I think it's really cool. Some of the ways that I've seen them cross over, and it's for me, it's always super exciting to see this. One of the first things I saw, this came out. Let me find the year before I show you the picture. This was in 2015. In 2015, Pendleton actually came out with a set of 4 blankets with Star Wars designs. I absolutely loved these designs. I have one. It's up on a shelf over here. I only bought one of the 4, and doing research today and looking on eBay and see how much these things sell for now. I wish I had bought all 4. But really cool way to work in some patterns there into Star Wars designs. And the other cool thing was, if you got all 4, they went together and formed the word Star Wars in the middle. So super cool. That was one of the first things I saw. But then also, I saw this video today, and this kind of sums up. This is by Beyond the Blast Doors. Go check them out over on YouTube and watch the whole video. So I'll just play a little bit of it here, talking about moments that spoke to these folks, the Indigenous folks, and how Star Wars related to them.
Actually, just a Western set in space, and Westerns always have that element of natives, versus cowboys or what have you, and that's always been prevalent in Star Wars. Even in the very first movie, sometimes it's more problematic, like with the Tuscans, where you have this indigenous tribe or population there on Tatooine, but they're always presented as savages and stuff like that, stealing women, but it's always kind of been there as far as direct representation and what it means to me. And when it really stood out was in 2005 with the original Clone Wars cartoon, the 2D animated one that was on Cartoon Network, when Anakin and Obi-Wan encountered the Nelvanians. They were very obviously pulled directly from Native American culture and lore, and incorporated a lot of different elements that I remember watching it. It was back when I was in college. It really stood out to me, and
so seeing this reminded me that some of the stories do feel like they have some native culture in it, and they've always felt that way to me. And so hearing somebody else say that when I was doing some research today, I was like, oh, okay, yes, other people see this as well. Fern, I appreciate the comment, even though you're not a Star Wars fan. This is really cool and how it is. And like this next one, I knew this relationship, but I didn't know all of it. Again, I was doing some research today and ran across this. If you aren't familiar, Leia's hairstyle from A New Hope, Star Wars Episode 4, did come from the Hopi people. And this article here, which is over on cbc.ca, it even talks about that many people believe that Leia and where she's from, her planet, she was an indigenous culture. With all the belief she had, her push for preserving nature and some of the other things. It's an interesting article. I knew the relationship with the hair and how they pulled that from native culture, Hopi culture, but I did not know the tie-in there that some people even thought it went deeper than that. So that's pretty cool to see. Then there's this story. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but Star Wars has been dubbed now, at least the first movie, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, has been dubbed in Navajo and Ojibwe. So you can watch the movie in those 2 languages. But here is the man who did that. He and Mr. Wheeler, Manuelito, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, Manuelito Wheeler, he asked his wife one time if she could translate the first few pages of Star Wars, just because he wanted to hear the, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. in Navajo. And so she did. And apparently she came back to him so fast. He's like, oh my God, I thought it would take you forever. She's like, no, here it is. So he wrote to Lucasfilm and said, hey, can we have this done in Navajo? And he didn't hear back. So he began writing to them, not daily, but almost daily for a long time. And it finally happened, and they redubbed the entire movie with Navajo language and Navajo actors. That's so cool to hear that somebody felt so strongly about that they actually did it. That Lucas called, the Lucasfilm folks called him, and they made it happen. So that's really cool. And then years later, it was again. Here's an article from CBC News where they dubbed it in Ojibwe as well. So very, very cool. Now, one of the things that I've always loved is seeing native artists like the beaded medallion I have, native artists taking pieces of Star Wars and using them for inspiration into their art. And I always thought that was really, really cool. Back in 2019, there was a art exhibit. The Force is with our people. And so there was native artists that put their work out on display. I mean, how cool would that be? Doesn't that need to be on my back wall? Yes, I think so. That is pretty incredible. Here's Rey's outfit as a Navajo. That's pretty cool too. And then other artwork, there's skateboards and paintings, taking the AT-ST and turning it into, using it with native culture, a BB-8, and my favorite, again, oh, you can't see this, hold on. Look at that. Again, that needs to be in my office, right? That's probably one of my favorite pieces of art I've ever seen, especially in the Star Wars world. That is really, really cool. And then, First Order Stormtrooper. Whew, that took a lot of work. And I forgot the other thing. Okay, now I have to. Oh, you don't want to see me twice. Panda and Friend says, this is so cool. Thank you. So hold on. I've got to go over to my personal Facebook page. I forgot all about this other reference until I was just looking at that. So at Gathering of Nations, somebody showed up. The native artist showed up with his work. And, yep, here it is. Now I can show you. A native artist had worked with somebody who is into... is a member of the 501st. If you're not aware, the 501st is the group that dresses up in Star Wars costumes, especially stormtroopers, and they do parades and things. They also visit children's hospitals. Weird coincidence, it was actually founded here where I live in Columbia, South Carolina. I got to meet the people who founded it one time by accident. They were just sitting next to us at a restaurant. Anyways, he's a member of the 501st, and they made this scout stormtrooper outfit with the native stylings on there, and the guy wearing it actually went to Star Wars Celebration, which is in Japan, back a couple months ago, and wore that on the show floor. It's like a Comic-Con, so that was pretty cool, and I was pretty excited to get my picture taken with him while wearing a shirt with stormtroopers and Darth Vader on it. So pretty cool. Okay, other artwork. Let's go back to here. Then this was in September of 2023 through 2024. There was another art exhibit. This was the Return of the Force, kind of a continuation of that same artwork. The Stormtrooper helmets. Yeah, Vern, this is sick. It really is. I mean, it is so cool what these artists do with that. There's that same R2, but look at the pottery. Oh, love it. There's R2 again. And then some vans with some stuff on there. So it has, Star Wars and native culture have crossed a couple times, especially, why does it keep doing that? Especially when it comes to the language and using native languages, the Ojibwe and Navajo, to redo the movies. I think it's not only cool to see that happen, but for Navajo and Ojibwe people to be able to watch a movie in that language. It really helps preserve the language, get more people interested in learning the language, and it's a great study tool too to be able to watch something pop culture instead of studying a textbook or studying at home, conversations with friends. I mean, that's how a lot of us improved our language skills, is watching TV and movies, right? So being able to see Star Wars in a native language is so incredible, such a great idea. And then the art and the people who've taken it and moved it into using their own artwork and putting their own flair in it. Love that. I have some prints too. I don't have them in here, but I have some prints too that a native artist I met at Morongo Powwow who does some stuff. He's always there every year. Yeah. Anyways, I just had to take this opportunity, since it is May the 4th week, to show you how Star Wars and native culture have intersected a few times over the years, and hopefully it will continue to do so. It's so much fun. So let me know in the comments, or I'd love to hear from you, Paul at PowWows.com. What's your favorite Star Wars movie or character? Where do you, and if you're watching some of the new stuff like Andor, I'd love to hear your opinion on that. Really enjoying Andor right now, the season 2. But that's it. That's me geeking out on Star Wars. Hope you enjoy that. And so now I do want to go back a little bit, and I want to talk, for those of you who are still with us. I didn't put this in the announcements because I didn't want to go too long in the announcements, but I do want to talk about some of the upcoming powwows. There's so much happening on our calendar. Please head on over to PowWows.com/calendar or PowWows.com/powwows near me to subscribe to our newsletter and have calendar events sent directly to you. Let's look at a few that are coming up soon. Give me a second. Let me catch my breath. Hello, Charles from Ron Charles from Arizona. Thank you for being here. And Mary from Chicago, the home of the new Pope. Hey, Mary, welcome. So coming up this weekend, Danville, Alabama is having their 36th annual powwow. Over in California, this is one that is I've heard so many great things about. I want to make it to one year. Stanford Powwow is happening. It's their 54th annual. Down in Allendale, South Carolina, close to me, they're having their Green Corn Festival. Over back in California, 28th annual Native American Arts Festival and Mother's Day Powwow. And do want to say a special shout out to all the moms watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We could not do anything without our moms. So thank you. And I hope you all have a wonderful Mother's Day. Also in California's 30th annual Mariposa Powwow. Cherokee Mother's Day Powwow in Canton, Georgia. This is all this weekend, folks. 40th anniversary Western Washington Powwow up in Washington State. Another California Powwow, Mother's Day and Earth Day Powwow. Little Earth Powwow in Minnesota. Sand Springs, Oklahoma is having one this weekend. Balboa Park in San Diego, California. Edmonton, Alberta is having their annual Ben Calf Robe Traditional Powwow. And then we get into the weekend after that. There's going to be a bunch more happening there. We'll have 2 live streams next weekend. We'll have Legends Powwow and Manitowoc. I'll be up in Winnipeg doing the Manitowoc Powwow. So there's the flyer for Legends over in Yakima, Washington. And then I'll be up in Winnipeg. So lots to do next weekend. Don't miss out on those 2 live streams if you're not able to travel to a powwow. Oh, I love this comment. Fern, thank you so much. Weekends are never complete nowadays without watching a powwow live stream. So thank you. So this is one weekend we don't have a live stream. You can go back and watch our YouTube video, past YouTube videos, catch up on some you missed maybe, or just enjoy the weekend off. Enjoy Mother's Day, celebrating that with family. But yeah, then we'll make up for it with 2 the weekend after that. And I'll be putting this in the newsletter tomorrow, but since you're here talking about live streams, let me show you something we just rolled out today. And that is we now have a powwow live stream tour t-shirt. This is the front, and it says PowWows.com live streaming since 2004. We streamed our first powwow Red Earth in June of 2024. And then the back, like a tour t-shirt, here is all the dates of this year's live streams. Now we may add some, and so we'll redo the shirt. That we use a partner that prints these as they're ordered, so we'll be able to redo the shirt if some more happen. But as of right now, those are the dates. Here, I'll give you a closer look at that. So that's what the back of the shirt looks like. If you're interested in that, you can head over to our shop. That did go on sale today. We have it in t-shirts and sweatshirts right now, starting at $22.99. Fern says she's buying that right away. Thank you. Panda and Friends, so true. Yeah, I love that you guys are looking forward to our live streams every weekend. That really makes me feel good. That last one I went to in Albuquerque. Whew, that was a busy one. And then last weekend was another good web live stream. Now I did drop a thanks Ron, appreciate that. I did drop 2 other designs. I see these everywhere, so I decided to let's try it and see what you guys think. This is a new style. I don't know that I like it, but apparently it's popular. So the upside down designs. So we do have one that says powwow. So go check that out if you're into that. I think they took off in like MLB and NFL. So we got those available too. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for watching. This is the show we do every Thursday night, at least most Thursday nights when I can do it. Next week we won't have a live show. I'll try to record something ahead of time because I will be in Winnipeg next week. We actually have rehearsals on Thursday, getting ready for a special event on Friday. They are not having a powwow on Friday. They're actually having a big special, fancy shawl versus fancy dance, men's fancy versus women's fancy. So they're going to have a big event around the special, and then go into powwow on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll be rehearsing for that on Saturday and making sure everything's ready for that. So won't be live next weekend, but I'll try to record something and still have something come out. But thank you all for watching. I really appreciate you being here. Few other things. Don't forget, if you are new to PowWows and looking to learn more about it, we do have resources over at PowWows.com/powwow101. If you need a powwow near you or want to find one, we'll send you that in email, PowWows.com/powwows-near-me. That'll get you all of that information. If you want to support PowWows.com, you can join our Patreon. That does help us continue doing what we're doing. PowWowNation.com. You can join us there. Other ways you can support us. The number one thing you can do is to share, like our content, share it with others. Just engage with it. That tells all the social networks that, hey, you like what we're doing. You can join our Patreon, subscribe to our newsletter, and if you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, I do some business coaching as well over at PaulGouder.com. But thank you guys so much for being here. I see Gail says, see you in Winnipeg. All right, see you up there. Come see. Oh, look at the art. And see, look at that. You got the R2 in your profile pic. Oh, so cool. Gail, send me a message. I'd love to hear where you got to meet that R2. That's really cool. I can't get this off. There we go. Thanks so much again. Appreciate you guys. Love the support and love the community here at PowWows.com. It's going to be a great year. We're not even halfway through, and it's been incredible so far. So thank you all for being here, and I'll see you next week.